This video is sponsored by Squarespace. A photo book is easily one of the best ways to consume photography, and as my small collection continues to grow, I thought it could be fun to geek out, flick through a couple of my favourite books and share some thoughts with you. And I'm also keen to possibly do this a bit more regularly, maybe like a virtual book club of sorts. So if you enjoy this content, let me know in the comments. In this video, I want to share with you some recent books that I've purchased, but also some books that I've had a while that I consider among my favourite. The first book I want to show you is Don't Just Tell Them, Show Them by Jesse Marlowe. Jesse Marlowe is an Australian-based photographer. I think he's in Melbourne. And this book shows a collection of photographs from 2005 to 2012. And this was originally published in 2014. I bought this copy in the Leica store in Milan. I just stumbled upon it by accident, so wonderful find. This book feels very playful with striking visuals, color, and shape. The images in here also make me think about what my camera can see that my eyes possibly can't. There are many images in here that look good as a photograph, but you just wouldn't see that if you were observing it with your own eye. I hope that makes sense. And with that being said, it makes me look beyond the surface of simply noticing something, pointing and shooting. How can I angle, compose, or expose this in a way that transforms this into something else? Flicking through the pages in this book really is a delightful experience. I picked this book up quite a lot, and considering that I have many other photo books now and my collection is slowly growing, I keep coming back to this every single month. It's such a joy to read. The next book I want to show you is Beauty Beauty by Louis Garcia. This is a collection of street photographs from New York City from 2017 to 2021. I also picked this up from the Photographer's Gallery, signed, which is cool, and this was released this year. The photographs in here at first appear to be the most ordinary individual moments, but collected together as a body of work, it really comes alive. There are lots of small details in this book that I keep noticing or appreciating on my third or fourth flick through that I didn't see on my first read. The sequencing of this book I think is really fun as well, and it's different to your typical one photograph per page photo book style. The presentation really adds to each image that you're looking at. The photographs feel familiar, but this time you're forced to look again. They're moments that you might not look twice at if you pass them on a street, but here they are intentional. This book is unapologetically authentic and raw, just like life on the streets. I really like the matte finish as well. It feels less polished, just like the streets are. I would just like to take a moment to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Many of you will know I've been using Squarespace for a very long time to host all of my photography, sell products, write blogs, and even a weekly newsletter. And I am continually impressed with the updates and features that Squarespace brings to the table. Whether you're choosing one of the many beautiful templates or using AI to give you a helping hand, Squarespace can do all of the heavy lifting so you can have a website up in literally minutes. Squarespace really has been my all-in-one place for running my online business, and I cannot recommend them enough. So why not at least start a free trial and see what you think? After that, when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/MikeJudley to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The next book I want to show you is Cape Light by Joel Merowitz. Now, of course, Joel doesn't need any introduction, but in contrast to his more fast-paced and gritty New York City street photographs, this is a whole different vibe. Cape Light was originally published in 1978, but was brought back to life in 2015 with this edition from Aperture. This book features images from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, from 1976 to 77. This book genuinely is one of my favorite books of all time, and the photographs in these pages make me feel a sense of nostalgia for a place I've never experienced. There's something very slow and calming about this work, and in my opinion, it's some of Joel's best photographs. The images here make me feel quite homely, which is odd because nothing about my life growing up looks anything like this. But a mix of his compositions and silent frames genuinely makes me feel like I'm stood where his camera lens is, looking with my own eyes at the things he's taking a picture of. The use of colour and light, especially in this book, is exceptional, and I really hope to visit Cape Cod one day so I can see this place for myself, as this book is my most frequently read, and I just keep coming back to it over and over. The next book I want to show you is Sideshow by Chris Harrison. I actually recorded a whole interview with Chris last year as a picture profile video, so I'll leave a link in the description to check that out. And he was in the middle of putting this together when we recorded that, so it's really cool to have the finished product here. Chris has been a graphic designer for many years, and when I interviewed him, he mentioned how that had influenced his process, and I can certainly see that on each page in this book. One of the things that resonated the most with me was when Chris said, you can apply words to photography, but its beauty is that words aren't really needed. It's a whole visual experience.
An image that feels a bit mysterious or feels a bit magical, that you can kind of see, yes, I can see that that is an actual thing that happened in the street, but almost doesn't look like it should have happened in the street. There's something odd going on, and that could be an element of confusion. It could just be the light, something that feels a bit kind of transcendental even. I don't know, something that goes a bit beyond words. And I think that's what I love about photography. Yes, you can talk about it. You can kind of, you can apply words to photography, but its beauty is that words aren't really needed. It's a total visual experience.
And Chris, if you're watching this video, ironically, I think that collection of words that you just said there actually describe your work really well. And actually spending some time with Chris, flicking through this book, it has encouraged me to think harder, look again, be more playful, and actually lean into more creative aspects of my photography. This book really is a delightful viewing experience. This next book I want to share with you has really captivated my attention, and even when I'm out in the real world busy with life, I'm still thinking about the photographs in this book. And although I've only had it for a couple of weeks, I don't know, it's really pulled me in, and I seem to be flicking through it almost every single day since I've had it. This Was Then by Mike Abrahams. As Mike puts it at the start of this book, these photographs taken between 1973 and 2001 are of ordinary lives that are so often ignored and marginalized. This was then, but also now. Each page in this book feels like it really has something to say, and the ironic thing is, in the back of the book there is an afterword by Stephen Mays that reads, "With the notable exception of the police, not many people represented in this collection of photographs are doing much. They might have just done something, and many look like they might be about to do something, but at that precise moment, in that flicker of time when the shutter was released, there is a great deal of nothing much happening. And yet there is an ineffable force that binds them in place, something more than a coincidence of people sharing a street, a room, a field. There is a tremendous sense of belonging. These people know who they are and why they are there. Nobody is present by accident or chance. These pictures share a common bond which most of us would recognize as community." Looking at these pictures and reading the intro from Mike, I've since Googled some of the events and tried looking into the history within this book because I wanted more context. I obviously never lived in this era, I cannot relate to the subjects or stories found in this book, but the photographs make me feel like I can, like there's something to learn or something to discover with every page turn. I really think this is documentary photography at its finest. No funny gimmicks or cliches, just real life as it was then. This copy here was actually sent to me courtesy of Bluecoat Press, which are the publishers of this book. And although they're not paying me for this shout out or mention, they did reach out after watching my previous photo book video and hearing that I wanted to do more content like this. And they said they could help me out, and if I wanted any of the books on their website, I just had to ask. So I picked this up, or asked for this, from Bluecoat Press, and I'll leave a link in the description for their website and all the other books that they've got going on in the description. So check them out.